Hello and welcome to the Diamond Report for Saturday, July 15th, 2017. This is your host, Doug Diamond. It's currently 4:01 p.m. And we're going to cover the Friday and Saturday news together, 14th and 15th today in this one show. I'm going to try and keep it as short as I can, but it's hard when you've got 2 days worth of news. But I'm over on my new Minds.com profile, and it's minds.com/diamond disc. It's spelled right here for you, diamond disc. The word disc is combined to the end of diamond. That's my business name. I use the same moniker pretty much across the different social media platforms like Facebook and Gov't.ai and Scene.life, and also Twitter, LinkedIn. I can't remember if it's Diamond Disc or not, but anyway, LinkedIn and Twitter are pretty much just music business related things. So yeah, I don't really do a whole lot of awareness issue stuff. I do retweets and things on those, but you know, if you're not really interested in the music business, you probably wouldn't want to follow me on LinkedIn or Twitter, but definitely on Facebook and Minds.com and Scene.life and Gab.ai. So let's go ahead and move on to the headlines. The Republicans in Congress have betrayed us again. If we do nothing, they will win, and that is why we need to stand up and fight for what we believe while we still can. That's from Michael Snyder. And another person dead connected to the Clintons. Imagine that. The mob bosses. Peter W. Smith, GOP operative who sought Clinton's emails from Russian hackers, committed suicide, records show. I think they mean he was suicided. Of course, I'm just jumping to conclusions, but hey, when you have a track record, you just have to pretty much follow the track record, and usually it will lead you to the truth. Not always, but most of the time. And it says suicide came just days after talking to the Wall Street Journal. Congressman Steve King says UK courts shouldn't subject Charlie Gard to a death sentence. It will be a horrific affront to every parent's innate right to care for their children. That's on Breitbart. Hawaii judge orders loosening of the Trump travel ban. Ruling applies nationwide and means grandparents, grandchildren, aunts, uncles, and cousins are no longer subject to the ban. Once again, the court overruling what the president has done. A video, Bill Clinton chews tongue, hand quivers during appearance. Bill Clinton gave a bizarre performance today during a joint appearance with W. Bush. George W. That's on the American Mirror. Well, I think Clinton has a lot of health problems. They both do, him and Hillary. Part of it is just being evil for so long catches up with you. But that's part of the reason Bill Clinton would never release any of his medical records. I mean, who knows what's wrong with the guy, really? If he's had sex with thousands of women, he most likely has some sort of weird disease. But that's what you get. The government subsidizes $1.46 of every Amazon box shipped, the study says. That's on Wall Street Journal. And from Reuters, high-speed Hyperloop transport project set for key test in Nevada. Revolutionary system could change transportation in the near future. Sounds an awful lot like a portal. Londonistan, motorcycle thieves carry out 5 acid attacks in 90 minutes. Victims suffer life-changing injuries in latest jihad-like attacks. That's on the Daily Express. U.S. may return Russian diplomatic property confiscated by Obama administration to improve relations. Obama ejected 35 diplomats amidst Russian election hysteria. Russian lawyer who met with Donald Trump Jr. worked with Democrats for years. Numerous reports and photos show how she has a long record of working with U.S. political figures, including many Democrats. Congressman says suicide of GOP operative who tried to obtain Hillary emails is, quote, awfully suspicious. You don't say. Today's fake news, quote, let's blow up Russia. Plus not recognizing the national anthem and more BS Trump handshake analysis. Tennessee, which is where I am, restricts the use of Monsanto pesticide as problems spread. It's the 4th state to take action over damage weed killer causes to non-GMO enhanced crops. Congressman Bob Barr says jihadis are waved through security while children are groped. The TSA's only true purpose is security theater. Yeah, and I would also add their other purpose is to treat us and train us to become slaves. 2 Israeli police officers confirmed dead following Temple Mount shooting. 3 armed Palestinians then pursued, shot, and killed by police. Lou Dobbs says the deep state is trying to destroy President Trump and break the will of the American people. Clinton, Comey, and company must be brought to justice. I totally agree. Experts talk about the psychology of left-wing loonies. Why are liberals becoming more unhinged? Trump's incredible shrinking border wall. Reminds me of the shrieking eels from The Princess Bride. UN Convention on Child Rights. Why a hospital is fighting so hard to kill a baby. Find out the truth about Charlie Gard. That's from David Knight. Revealed news networks deliberately refused to report on a man violently attacked for supporting Trump. If this is important, how come we didn't see it on CNN? Asks an ABC rep. Oh, brother. It was no accident that Western medicine has been twisted into a tool of the mega corporations. The American medical system is purposely used to keep the people sick and in debt. Yeah, it is, absolutely. And now the education system is working the same way. But there is no health in the American healthcare system as long as Big Pharma is involved. Corps identifies 16 troops killed in the tragic KC-130 crash. This is on military.com. 15 Marines and 1 sailor perished in the tragic crash. Moscow warns it may expel U.S. diplomats over seized Russian property. One world government technocracy is breaking down. The elites are panicking. Globalism is in a downward spiral. I'm not so sure about that. I mean, maybe in certain factions or in certain elements it's in a downward spiral. But I think in general, the consensus seems to be we will end up in a world government, at least according to the Book of Revelation, which I happen to believe. Robots are inventing their own languages, the programming and design of artificial intelligence. That's from John Rappaport. Fukushima plant set to release radioactive material into the ocean. Operator of plant says tritium poses little risk to human health and quickly diluted by the ocean. Yeah, that doesn't count the other millions and millions of gallons of radioactive water that's already being released into the ocean before they go and pour out all of this that they're talking about in this story. So it's more of the same, and it may even be worse, who knows. French police and army rocked by scores of Islamic infiltrators. Leads to future stand-downs by police and military during terror attacks. That's on Sputnik. Senate keeps Obamacare on life support. American healthcare reform is still being stopped by establishment politicians. That would be because they don't actually want reform. Again, we're talking about the globalist party here, which is a combination of the people in the DNC and the people in the GOP, both. Trump's victories eclipse the New World Order. POTUS is doing irreversible damage to the globalists. I think he is in certain respects, but I also think they are damaging him irreversibly too, in many ways. Anti-Islamization activists wake up the mayor with 5 a.m. Muslim call to prayer. Charlie Gard, U.S. doctor will travel to the UK to assess the ill infant. An 11-month-old boy suffering from a rare genetic disorder. Monthly federal spending tops $400 billion for the first time. Time to eliminate some agencies, you think? Well, most agencies are 100% unconstitutional. We should eliminate all of them. Disgusting. Hillary and Obama still trying to destroy Trump. Globalist operatives working hard to disrupt the Trump administration. House passes $696.5 billion defense policy bill. Only 8 Republicans voted against the legislation. That's on the Hill. Well, that's because the Republicans and the Democrats are really one and the same. And they call it a defense policy bill, but it's really an offense policy bill to start wars. 20 million mosquitoes to hit Fresno. The establishment is using bureaucracy to stop the Trump agenda. Career politicians use the system to disrupt Trump. Well, part of that is because Trump, was never supposed to be president. He was not part of the plan. Now, he's been made part of the plan now, and to some extent a willing accomplice or puppet, but there's only a few strings attached to him, whereas like an Obama or a Bush, it was all strings were attached to them. CNN and Clinton advisor push for World War III. Violent liberals call for a major war. They do love their war, and Hillary being right at the top of the heap. Pope Francis, the friendly face of global evil. The Pope is one of the New World Order's biggest assets. that he is. It reminds me of what I call the Catholic Church, or Catholicism in general, which was founded in Mystery Babylon, which is Luciferianism, not Christianity. And the Catholic Church is literally Mystery Babylon with a Jesus face. This headline reminded me of that. Another victory against dangerous GMO food. Food labels might soon warn about high glyphosate levels. That'd be a good thing. But there again, glyphosate's in pretty much everything, so they'll have to start slapping labels on everything. Hillary Clinton, the most hated woman in America. Trump beats Clinton in another recent poll, but this time it's Melania, not Donald. Pretty interesting. And from RT.com, Mafia accused of setting Mount Vesuvius on fire. If someone set fire to Vesuvius, I want to see them in jail for 15 years. Wow, that's a new one. Climate deal was nothing but a giant screw job for the American people. Talking, of course, about the Paris Accord that we're no longer a part of. Well, it was a giant screw job, absolutely. It was more globalism and less freedom and more taxes for everybody. Luckily, we're not a part of that anymore. However, that does not mean that global warming isn't real. It is real. Climate change is real, but only because of the ongoing climate engineering programs that are going on and have been going on for decades that have the Earth's ecosystem completely screwed up. We're not talking about only global warming here, folks. We're talking about an abrupt climate shift. If you want to know more about it, go to geoengineeringwatch.org. Over 400 people charged in opioid and drug-related fraud takedown worth $1.3 billion. That's on the Epoch Times. And more fake market news. Dow S&P 500 closed at records while shaking off bank stock slump. NASDAQ finishes at second highest close. Again, I ask, do you actually believe this nonsense? Russia, mulling expulsions, says too many U.S. spies work in Moscow. House moves to bar Pentagon contracts with firms backing North Korean cyber attacks. Hillary Clinton's charitable giving dipped by millions in 2016. Clintons did not give money from Personal Family Foundation to Clinton Foundation for the first time in years. The GOP establishment hates Trump more than MSNBC. Republicans align with the deep state to thwart Trump's anti-globalist stance. Again, that's because the GOP and the DNC are one and the same. Time cover Photoshops Hitler mustache on Trump Jr. Bitcoin rival Ethereum gobbling up cryptocurrency market. And 9/11 families may add the UAE, or the United Arab Emirates, to lawsuit against the Saudis. Poland's most powerful politician says no more migrants. Cuck Canadian PM tells U.S. dump America first. Gee, that's a good one. Trump administration weighs expanding the expedited deportation power of DHS. New guidelines, if enacted, would represent a major expansion of the agency's authority. I might also add an unconstitutional agency, that of the DHS and all others that have 3 letters. The media has handshake mania. President Trump's handshakes are the subject of endless fascination on cable news. And of course, that's a giant distraction from all the other important stuff that's actually going on. Sherman says clear and convincing proof of obstruction of justice to impeach Trump. Sherman believes that there is an ironclad case against Trump. Russian-American lobbyists joined Trump's Sun meeting too. A new wrinkle to the Trump team's evolving explanations about the June 2016 session. FEC shoots down plan to target Drudge and InfoWars. Officials stop Democrats' censorship program. National Dems push single payer, but California Dems warn of dangers. Establishment GOP want Obamacare kept. Total proof Donald Trump Jr. was set up by the Democrats. Globalist program to vassalize U.S. revealed. Fords from Mexico smuggle drugs. Cartels take advantage of America shipping jobs overseas. And for a very quick earthquake update today, just a couple things I wanted to show you primarily. We have a brand new 6.0 earthquake that has occurred in Indonesia. You can see it right here. Multiple agencies reporting 5.9s to 6.0s right there in southern Indonesia. And that marks the, 6th or 7th magnitude 6.0 just in the last, week to 10 days. There've been a lot of them. If we look at it here, we're looking at magnitude, what, 5.8. Here, let's take those off. Okay, over the last 7 days on my earthquake 3D software, it's showing 4 right here, and then of course we also know that we have a deleted 7.0 or whatever it was down here by southeastern Indonesia and western Papua New Guinea. Right there in that area, there was another one right here that got deleted a few days back. And then of course we had the magnitude 6.0 up here in Yellowstone, and then a 7.0 up here in northern Canada. So we had, and then the northern Canada one was deleted, and then of course everyone knows about the Yellowstone one. So we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, basically 6 6.0s in the last week to 10 days or so. That's quite a bit. It's a lot of activity going on. The other thing I wanted to show you really quickly was Oklahoma. Yesterday we had a magnitude 4.2 strike in Oklahoma. That was at 8:47 a.m. Central Time, and that's a pretty darn big quake to be striking in the Midwest. However, as we all know, Oklahoma is now the New Madrid seismic zone because of all the fracking. Now, the reason that 4.2 is struck there is because of all the pressure being pushed south and eastward across the edge of the North American craton, which came from primarily up north, up here at Yellowstone. Also, we've had aftershocks there since then too. Okay, that's it for today's Diamond Report. Thanks for listening and watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.